Hi ladies, I'm Mel and I'm your tutor for today, your tutor artist for your workshop. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself, besides the fact that I have this really croaky voice that you've got to listen to. I'm a metal and mixed media artist. Some of you may have worked with me on one of my workshops. I work mainly in pewter, which is a soft metal, which you'll be working on today. And I also work in copper and add various things to it, like some sewing and some sort of added bits and pieces that I can make canvases from. So let's get on with our workshop today. I'm going to focus on my hands now so that you can see what I'm doing, so you won't see me until the end. Okay, ladies, so this is what we're going to be doing today. This is pewter. This is a piece of pewter which is quite soft and malleable, and we're going to be putting it over some shapes. The shapes are pre-cut out shapes. You'll all have a different shape. Some of you will have this one, some of this one. I think the explanation about the shapes is in the other little video that we did earlier. So this is what you're going to have in your box. You're going to have a pre-cut piece of acetate. You're going to have a piece of plastic paper that we're going to use our colors on. And you're going to have some metal which is in this box. You're going to have a large piece of metal, and you're going to have your mixture. What we'll do for the moment, you've also got a glove, you've got your colors and a cleaner, some black paint, and these are your tools, and we're just going to be working with both of those tools. So we're going to put this aside for the moment, and we're just going to concentrate on our little piece of tester pewter. So we're going to work on our board. For this exercise, the pewter doesn't have a right and wrong side. It's fine either side. One side is slightly shinier, but it doesn't have a right or wrong. Okay, we're going to put our tester piece on the two mats in front of us, the grey mat and the piece of felt. So you're going to put your piece of pewter down, and you're going to take your sharp tool, and you're going to draw. We can draw a heart. So you can press fairly hard. We're going to draw a heart. Okay. And then outside of the line, we're going to draw another line. Okay. That's our tester piece. Then we're going to take our other tool, this white tool, and we're going to turn the heart over, and we're going to go in between those two lines. Okay. And then we're going to turn it over again, and you're going to take your mat away, and you're just going to work on your hard board. You're going to take your tool, this tool again, and you're going to go around the outside of the heart, and you're going to go around the inside of the line as well. Try not to tear the metal. The metal tears very easily. Okay, so what you've done is you've flattened the background, and you've raised the edge of the heart. Okay, so I'm going to do some little patterns inside the heart. You can take your piece of felt again, and you're going to use your dotting tool, and you're just going to press some dots in the heart anywhere you like. There we go. Okay, so that is the basis of the pewter. So I'm going to work on the board, and I'm going to open the packet and take out this little tub of paint. Using my brush, I'm going to paint a little bit all over the heart. Just remember, this is just a tester piece, just to show you more or less what we're going to do on this piece of tile. Okay, put your brush aside and just use a half a piece of tissue, and what you're going to do is you're going to polish the black away, and the black is going to go in the recesses of the heart. So now that looks similar to that one. Okay. So what you can do is you can use this piece in a card, on a card or something. You can colour it in paints, which I'll show you later. So for the meantime, close your paint up. We're not going to use this yet. I'll put these to the side and take your little heart and put it to the side. Okay, so we're going to be doing this tile today. You'll be able to keep the heart. You won't be able to keep this one because this is going to go on a public artwork for the public to see in Hay Mills. They were doing a project with some planters and some metal pieces, so this is going to stick on the planters. The other video will explain everything that's going to happen with these, but I'll be back next month for the following workshop as well. Okay, so I'll be putting everything aside, and we're just going to be using our piece of pewter for the moment. And remember, it doesn't have a back or a front, so whichever side, it doesn't matter. You're going to be taking your shape, and we're just going to be sticking the shape in the middle of the pewter. Just sort of eyeball it. Take a little bit of tape. And you're just going to tape it up, just so that the shape doesn't move. Now what you're going to be doing is taking your piece of acetate, and you're going to be putting it over the middle. And you're just going to fold your edge over. And you can tape that up as well. Okay. Bend your pewter so that it bends, okay, against the acetate. Look, I'm just pushing my nail in there so that it's bending. Or you can take a ruler or something in. Okay, so all I'm doing is folding the pewter. And then I'm just going to sort of fold it in a little bit. I'm bending my corners in. Have a look. Bend your corner in a little bit and just push your pewter down. Okay. So now you can do the last bit just now. Okay. So this is what we're going to be doing. Here are your impressions. Look, you're going to just get the outline. You can use your paper stump. You just get the outline of the pewter. You just push around the outside. We can make the edges neat at a later stage, but for the moment we're just going to be pressing around the outside of the pewter like this. You've got some indents, go into the indents. So I'm going around the outside, pressing into the indents of this. Like this little one's got some indents here. This one's straight, so this would have a straight edge. This would have an indented edge. You each have, I think there are about 6 or 7 shapes. So you each got one shape. Okay, when you've done the outside, then you do the inside as well. This has still got some indents. Now press fairly hard, ladies, but don't press too hard. You can't go further than the acetate that's underneath. But don't go too hard because you could rather stretch it gently. So here I'm pressing, but I'm stretching the metal gently so that it doesn't break. There we go. It doesn't matter if it has lines it'll just add to the overall effect in the end. You can check on the back here, see what your shape looks like. Okay, so I know this, here we go. I know it doesn't go all the way through, it just goes to there. So there. I'm pressing my ends here. I've gone around all the outside of the circles, but what I am doing is I'm just showing I'm pressing in each piece around each indent like this. You can only press up to this anyway, so you can't go through the metal. But what I'm saying is, like, for example, the middle piece, I'm colouring it in, I'm pressing quite firmly, but then I want to make it a little bit flatter, so I'm going over it again. So when I go over it again, it's stretching the metal. So that's why I say don't press too hard initially, because it's going to stretch the metal a lot. So there we go. So I'm flattening this piece. Just keep colouring in, pressing the metal and stretching it until you've made a nice outline of the shape below it. Make sure you've done all the little bits, gone all the way around. Okay, if you use this tool and you push again, if you hold your piece firmly and you push against the wood, it goes into all the little indents, so that it makes a nice clean line around the outside. Okay, so I've made sort of quite a clean line, and then also make sure you do the same to the inside. And keep your background flat. So just keep flattening the middle. And also the outside of your pewter, you keep it flat. So you keep flattening it with this tool. Just flatten your background a little bit. You can use your finger as well. Keep the background flat. We're going to use another tool to make some pattern on the background. So you might think it's stretching a bit, but there we go. Okay, so I'm using my finger to press the background flat. Okay, ladies, I'm just going to show you using this tool. If you do want to use this tool to get into the little indents a bit more, I'm putting some oil on, just literally on my fingertip, and I'm rubbing the oil on the piece that I'm working on to help this tool glide a bit. You can use a bit of cooking oil or a bit of hand cream or a bit of Vaseline or something. Okay, so then I'm just pushing the tool, but be careful because you don't want to break this. Okay, so I'm pushing it and it's gliding a little bit in the corners there. Here we go. So I'm just getting a clean edge inside. But I must say, I can't reiterate enough not to let this metal tear, because it needs to be outside. It's going to be coloured and then varnished, and then it's going to be stuck on all the pots outside that the school children painted and that the community painted. Okay, so I think we've probably done enough for the back now. Okay, so we're going to make our background flat. I'm just going to flatten it with my fingers. It's a little bit better. And I'm going to use this tool to make either side of the tool. Some of you have got smaller ones than others, but this is quite a small. I'll show you on the back. That's a ball tool, so it's quite small. So we're going to make some patterns. The patterns around here, all I've done is some little curls next to each other. Okay, or I've done some dots. Or I've done some crosshatch. Or I've done some stripes as well. I've just done stripes next to each other. Okay, so these are some of the patterns that I've done. Okay. So we're going to take our little ball tool again. And I'm going to make, for example, I'm just going to use the smallest side. The smallest side is this ball that I've got. So I'm just going to make some curls on this one. So you can press quite hard. You can press quite hard on this area. Okay, so that's the pattern I'm going to be doing on this side here. Okay, so when we've finished this tile completely like this, then we're just going to make sure our edges are closed securely. I'm just going to take the tape off again. This is fine. So all I'm going to do is make sure that the edges are pressed against the surface. Just press hard so that you get a nice neat edge on this edges. Press hard, and then we'll do our last edge. I'm pulling it towards me and just flattening it down, and then opening it out and making a little envelope just like you folding a parcel. So I'm just going to put this little piece in. Okay. Turn this little piece in like a triangle, just like that. Okay. And I'm just going to be using, I can use my tool, my flattening tool, to flatten it out. And then pull it towards you again. Just pull it towards you and go all the way around. And now you've made a nice fold on the side. Okay, so it's nice and neat. And take your edges and make sure that they're flat. Just flatten it on the board. Make sure that they all go flat. Okay, so that's what the back looks like. We're not going to see the back, so it doesn't matter what it looks like. Okay, so what's going to happen is this is going to be stuck on the planters, and you're not going to see, but you are going to see the edges. Okay, so I've just been finishing off the outside. I've still got a little bit to do. I'm just, sometimes when it buckles a little bit, just press it down. Find a different way to press it so that it doesn't show. Okay, so I've just got this last piece to do. I'm doing that pattern. Okay, so I don't go around the sides, but I just go all the way around the edges. Okay, so I'm nearly finished here. Okay, so when I've done that, then I just make sure that my edges are nice and tight, nice and straight. If you want to, you can do pattern around the edge, like if you want to do lines or something down the side to make it a bit more interesting, you can do that. But for this purpose, I'm just going to keep this plain and simple. But what I am going to do is put some cross hatches here. So I'm just doing lines in here, all going one way. And it's also helping keep the insides a bit flat. And I'll do in the middle the same. You can press quite hard on here because you're not going to go through the metal. And then I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to go the other way. So what I'm actually doing is making like little squares. So they're cross hatches. Okay. You don't have to do this at all. You can leave it plain, or you can do a different pattern, or you can do some dots, or you can just do it in color when we add some color. So I've done the same to the sides, and I've done the same to the middle. This is done. Let me see if you can see in the light. Okay, so now we're going to put our paint on so that it looks like this. This, I've patinaed it. So when you put a patina on something, you add a liquid which makes it dark, and then you buff the liquid off. That brings the highlights up. So this is just all one color, and when we put the dark on it, then it will all go black, and then we'll polish it. Okay, for this purpose you have your little pot of black paint, and then if you want to put your glove on, I'll take my little frog off. Do you like my frog? Hold on. Here's my frog. Can you see it? It's cute. And you can either use your paintbrush or you can use your finger. I prefer using my finger only because I like messing. And I'm going to rub it all the way into all the little indents. If you use your finger, you can also feel where everything is going, you know. You can rub it sort of into all the little spaces. So rub it so that you can't see any silver. So you're going to go all the way around. And now what I'm going to do is take the tissue paper that I gave you, that came in your pack, and you're going to rub the paint off. So I'm just going to rub so that the majority of the paint comes off. Okay, and then I'll use another piece and polish it up a bit. But be quite bold in your action and be quite quick, because this paint dries quickly. I'm just rubbing the middle bits, and I'm leaving some of the paint on the indents. We're going to use some colour on here as well, so it won't matter too much what it looks like. If you really are stuck and some of the paint is not coming off, then you can use a little bit of water on your tissue, but just remember it's going to take most of the paint off, so you only want to use a tiny little bit of water. So those are what the two look like. So at the moment they look completely different because they're two different. They're based on the cables. So inside the cables, they all look completely different. Then we're going to funk it up just a little bit. So we're going to add some paint, some ink. I've got an orange, a purple and a green. It doesn't really matter which ones you have. And I've also got a cleaner, and it does say cleaner on it, okay? So that's an alcohol cleaner. If you do get some paint on your hands, this alcohol will take it off. So I'm just going to clean my brush in water. This stuff does stain, so if you get it on your hands, you can get it off with a cleaner. If you get it on your clothes, I'm afraid it's going to stain, so I hope you've got suitable clothing on. You only need a few drops of this colour, and for this area I'm going to do the background. Okay, so I'm also going to use on the edges. It's gone a bit brown because I didn't clean my brush, but you can clean your brush in between with this brush cleaner. You put some cleaner on there, and you just use a piece of tissue. So I'm just going to try this green again on the sides. There we go. That's your coloured one, and that's your non-coloured one. And the inks, just remember you can use cleaner on. You can just add a little bit over here and wash your brush in the cleaner, and you can also use it to clean your hands. But ladies, please remember, that's what my hands look like all the time. That's why I wear gloves. Okay, ladies, so that was the end of the little video. I hope you understood everything over there. What I did forget to say was your little heart. You can paint that in your colours as well, and go and use it on stick it on something, brighten up somebody's day and make a card. I'm going to be coming back next month, and I'm going to show you some glass painting. So we're also going to be using these colours, the little glass paints, but I'll send you another box, another packet with everything in. Nice speaking to you, and hope to see you soon. Okay, bye bye.